Today we're going to talk about bad art and having and finding the freedom to make bad art. If you're new here, which you probably are because this is a new channel, my name's Sarah Evergreen. I write fantasy novels, among other things, and this is my channel where I'm going to talk about writing and specifically now doing a 30-day YouTube channel, one video every day just to get me back in the habit of being in front of a camera. Because I have another YouTube channel that I'm no longer updating, which I will link to in the comments if you like stuff about magic. Bad art. My screensaver, I'll share this with you. Maybe I can just show you. Yeah. My lock screen. Right now, make bad art. Make bad art. Because I think it is so important for us to give ourselves permission. Permission to make just bad art, horrible art. Permission to write poorly. Permission to make a painting that's ugly. Permission to create something without the strictures of feeling like we need to create something beautiful, perfect, good. Making bad art doesn't mean you don't care. That's the thing. Making bad art means that you care so much about your creation and so much about getting your work out into the world that you refuse to be strapped down by perfectionism. It means that you are willing to create something that's ugly so that you can get to the thing underneath that thing and the thing beyond that thing. It's impossible to edit a blank page, and I'm sure many of you have heard this before, but I want to really emphasize that. With writing specifically, you cannot edit a blank page. It is so much better to have a piece of writing that doesn't live up to your grand ideas of what you want your writing to be, so that you can massage it and rewrite it rather than having nothing there. It's like if you sat a potter down in front of a wheel and said, okay, make us a pot, but didn't give them any clay to work with. That's what you get when you refuse to write, refuse to create, because you're waiting to be good enough to do it. If you wait to be good enough to create the thing that you think you want to create, you will never be good enough because you improve by doing. While not all practice makes perfect, you can create intentionally and work to make things better step by step by step. So I spoke about my book, Chasing Smoke, recently. My first book I ever wrote. And it's not a great piece of literature, but I wrote it. And it's there out in the world, which means that I've learned so many lessons from writing that book. The number one lesson that I learned was that I can do it. It is possible for me to do it. And this is a lesson that I had to relearn recently. So I took a 10-year hiatus from writing fiction because I didn't think that I could anymore. I went through a divorce. It was very painful. There were some other things involved with my writing specifically, like I was trying to force it into a particular genre that was very marketable, but wasn't something that I was passionate about at the time. As a result of all of that, I just stopped being able to connect with my fiction. And for a very long time, I thought my life as a fiction writer is over. There's no way I'm ever going to be able to get back in touch with this. Every time I tried, it felt flat, it felt forced, it felt awful. And I was like, I don't want to do this. So I didn't for a very long time. And then I read, what did I read? I read A Court of Thorns and Roses. And I read the whole series, and there was something about those books that stirred something up in me. That was like, oh, man, like, I love this. I love books. I love reading. I love playing with the English language. I think the English language is so very cool. And I wanted to try again. I think it helps that my husband is a screenwriter, so he's very deep into the creative writing process. And he's been working with screenplays that he'll give to me. So that's also kind of helped, I think, kindle that spark and help bring it into the fire that eventually became the book I started writing for NaNoWriMo of last year. But when I sat down to write that novel, I was terrified. I thought, I can't. It's been 10 years since I could. What makes me think that I can do this again? And I did a ritual, basically a journaling prompt thing that maybe I'll bring to you in another video, where I looked at my old dream of being a writer, what that looked like, why that seemed to just fall out of my hands, and what it looks like now, and how I can bring it forward in a new way that's authentic and real and sustainable for me. And I think that helped a lot too. That helped move some things so that I could reimagine my life as a writer, reimagine what that means for me and why it's so important to me. So I sat down to write that novel, and it was, once again, it was going from pretty much zero. I'd written novels before, but I really, truly felt that I couldn't anymore, to one. The novel's not done, but it served the purpose of showing me that I still have writing in me. I still have fiction in me. What that writing process was teaching me was that I could do it. I absolutely could create something. I can connect with characters. I can craft a plot. I can write dialogue that doesn't feel like it's gross and flat and pointless. I can do that thing. That's one of the things that Making Bad Art teaches us, is that we can create something. And something is better than nothing. Creating something that you wouldn't even show to your best friend who completely supports you and loves everything that you do and wouldn't say a bad word about it. Creating that thing gives you the knowledge that you can create. So the point of today's video is to encourage you to make bad art. Make intentionally bad art even. That will move things. That will give you ideas. That will show you, again, that you can create something. And if you write a short story that's absolutely horrible, but you finish it, you write the whole thing and you finish it, then you write another one, the next one's going to be a little bit better and a little bit better, because you are learning in this process. And, you know, you can speed up that process of learning through a variety of different ways, but the point is that you are getting your reps in, really. You're making something bad so that you can uncover the really good stuff, so that you can take what's bad and help mold it into something that's a little bit better and a little bit better. Make bad art, because the world needs your art. You need your art. We need your art. Thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. And remember, as always, use your voice. It's the only one you have, and we need it.